Starting in the Big 12, who do we think is going to ultimately win the Big 12 conference crown? I will start. I'm going to go with a little bit of a dark horse, but always a contender. Kansas State. In a more wide open Big 12 race than I think people are going to realize until we get into it, I'm going to say Kansas State is the team that comes out on top in the Big 12. Um, let's hold on to Alex for a little bit. Jim?
For the champion, or the champion?
The champions.
Arizona State is my champion.
Jim's a Dillingham fan.
Yeah.
Nate?
Second Jim with the Kenny Dillingham train.
All right. Nemi?
I'm going to go with Utah coming back after their down year last year. Kyle Whittingham to get back to what they're good at. No more of waiting on their quarterback that never shows up to play.
Is Cam Rising starting?
And they got themselves a new quarterback. What'd you say?
Cam Rising playing this year?
No, that's what I'm saying. They're getting away from all that bullshit. That was distraction the last 2 years.
How sure are we?
2 years? We sure it's been 2?
Well, he was good 3 years ago, but the last 2 years has been nothing but a distraction. So they got new guys in, the quarterback in. I think they get back to the basics on playing defense and running the ball, and they're successful at it.
All right. Alex?
I think the West Virginia Mountaineers are going to be Big 12 champions. I just wanted to...
Okay.
I'm just kidding. Kansas State. I would love to go that. I hope that the West Virginia Mountaineers are the Big 12 champions, but realistically, I actually do like Kansas State. I'm with Muff. It is a wide open Big 12, if nothing else.
Why them? Can I get some help? I haven't placed any futures, any win total bets yet. I have to do it this week and next week. I need some help on why West Virginia, if you have anything.
Why West Virginia?
I'm sorry.
Oh, I was like,
well, yeah, that.
Two words, Rich Rod.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, I don't. I honestly don't, and that's why some of these were left unfilled for a little while for me, because there's a part of me that says a team like Baylor might sneak up, and I don't want to spoil something for later, but I looked at Arizona State. Iowa State has a decent. There's just so many, but I like Kansas State. Is really
Kansas State. Their running back is one of the potential big breakout players, and this is, for me, that's assuming that he does have the ultimate breakout year, and he's the horse that drives them there. So for me, that's what it is. Again, in a wide open race, we need a superstar, and that's what I'm gonna put my money behind. I'm not gonna put my money behind it. That's what I'm gonna put my words behind. So that's why I'm on Kansas State. If that helps, Nemi.
Yep. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. All right, runner up. Who is second place in the Big 12? Let's start with Alex.
Second place in the Big 12 for me, I picked Iowa State. Other than their one obnoxious fan that we met last year, they showed some promise, and their schedule sets them up to have a very winning first 2/3 of the season, which I think kind of puts them in a position to get into that game maybe better than some others. So not only do I think they're in probably the top 4 in the conference, I think that just based off schedule, when it comes down to it and they're beating each other up, they may sneak in there. I like their quarterback, Rocco Becht. He's a pretty, steady quarterback. He's not going to be lighting the world on fire, but they have a good leader in him. And like I said, their schedule lends to some wins early, so I think they get it.
Son of a former West Virginia player, too. I'm sure that helps you.
Yes, it does.
All right. Nemi.
Rocco Becht's been there for 3 years now.
Yeah,
so he's a veteran. You don't get veterans that much these days.
Mm-hmm.
They all transfer to every team and whatnot all the time. So
precisely.
I'm gonna go with Arizona State, another team with a returning quarterback. Obviously they lost, Cam Scadaboo, but I think they'll be back on the map. Having a good year last year, got some transfers in, so I'm gonna go with that.
All right, Jim.
I'm going with Texas Tech, except, as I got this done, I put it in stone, and we'll talk about it in the college football news. There's some injury issues that might hurt my runner-up, but I'm Texas Tech.
All right, Nate.
Kansas State. For all the reasons you guys said, but I think Arizona State will get them.
All right. For me, I have Arizona State at number 2. I feel like there's just probably going to be a lot of hate coming to me as a fellow season ticket holder for WVU games, but I don't see them in the top 2 this year.
Fair enough.
Coach of the year very much is probably going to be tied to our thoughts. Okay, let's start with Nate.
I don't know.
I had
All right.
I had Jody McGuire, Texas Tech, but as Jim just alluded to before the news came out that we'll get to, I also think Texas Tech was going to be one of those teams that just come out of nowhere, but who knows now?
All right, Alex.
I am not saying this. I know this is a long shot, but I'm also saying it with my chest, and I mean this one. Rich Rodriguez. I think his storyline is set up to where he is rebuilding the program. He's taking it back to like the grit and hard edge, that it used to kind of have a reputation for. And I think that if he has a good season, that he will be, because of WVU being down, I think if he can put them in that like top 5, back up kind of to some national attention, that he genuinely could be the coach of the year.
What record would they need to have for him to be coach of the year at a minimum?
I think he has to win
9?
That was going to be the number I was going to give. 9 games. So, like I said, I think it's a long shot, but I do think that there is a world where it happens.
If they win 9, he probably is coach of the year.
Yeah.
We'll just put it that way. Yeah.
All right, Nemi.
A theme here with Utah. We go with Kyle Whittingham. Utah gets them back to where they were a couple years ago. To the Big 12 title game. Hopefully they win it per my prediction.
All right, I'm going to go with my winner, Kansas State, Chris Kleiman. Give him coach of the year. Give it to the champion. Jim.
I back the Rich Rod train, and I'm not just being an asshat about it. I think everything that Alex has laid out may be based in a little bit more reality than Alex has because he's got that bias to him.
Mhm.
But I think he can catch any of these people we've talked about. This is where this is the slapback, Alex. I don't think the Big 12 is. I think it's wide open. I don't think it's as strong as it could be. I think some of the contenders and some of the names that are out there are not as good as they used to be. And why not WVU this year, given all of the circumstances? I think this could be the perfect storm.
So here's my question, and this is not like arguing with you because right now we're agreeing, and I'm taking that support and running with it. They are so close. Could it be because they have several good teams?
Let me clarify my statement. I'm saying that the disparity between all the teams is not as crazy as it usually is.
Yeah.
And that those quote unquote Big 12 powerhouses are not
Okay, that makes sense.
so
Good,
far
not
up there.
great.
Yeah.
I got what you're saying.
Who is usually a Big 12 powerhouse to you?
I think your Oklahoma States, your Texas Techs, I think your Kansas States and Arizona States aren't world beaters. And I think WVU under Rich Rod catching fire, if the state gets behind them, like WVU is such an emotional based team that if they caught fire just a little bit, 1-2 upsets, watch out, man. They can catch it.
Yep. It is a wide open conference. It was wide open last year as well. So it might just be a thing where there are no more big dogs and it's just going to be wide open every year, which is kind of cool.
All right, next category is disappointing team. And that, Jim, the context of this is a team that we would expect to do better than the outcome will be.
Or just like, no, this to me, I looked at it as just general disappointment. Like, oh,
Okay.
man.
So it doesn't have to be based on what we thought was going to happen versus what happens.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. All right, let's start with Jim.
To me, the disappointing team was Colorado. And I say that tongue in cheek, but not. I think that Colorado, I think everybody's looking for the letdown because the stars are gone. And I think that letdown's going to be worse than people anticipate.
All right, the recruiting class is going to disappoint.
Yeah.
All right, Nate.
My disappointing team is going to be Iowa State. I mean, they're usually up there, but I just think with how we said, there's just so much equal playing field in the Big 12 this year that someone's going to have to falter off, and I just, for whatever reason, think it's going to be them.
All right, Alex.
I think it's going to be Texas Tech. I kind of thought that a little bit just because we are putting so much hype into this recruiting class. And then a couple hours ago, prior to us doing this, it was said that their running back Quentin Joyner may be out for the year with a knee injury. So I think that takes the wind out of their sails a little bit.
All right, Nemi.
I'm going to go with Jim and go with Colorado. Certainly didn't help that Dion was ill most of the postseason, wasn't around. So that paired with losing his son and Prodigy and losing Hunter and losing all the other receivers and everything, I don't think it's going to go well for them. Well, Vegas has it 6.5. I think it's got to be less than that for sure.
Lost his sons, right? Multiple.
Yeah,
off
multiple
that
sons,
roster.
Yeah. Yep,
Yeah.
you're right. Yep.
He has no favorites.
Nope. I'm surprised he went back. So
Yeah. There's a lot of discussion on this podcast, not knowing the health struggles going on behind the scenes. I'm also going to go with Texas Tech, and I think like Alex, I had this before. I didn't even know about this injury until we got on here, so that was Texas Tech for me. And I had it. I liken this to, we'll say, like Oklahoma State Ollie Gordon last year.
Yeah,
Right. We just had a lot of hype, and they're just not going to live up to it. I'm not going to say that Texas Tech is going to be as bad as Oklahoma State was last year, but just for me, that was how I was interpreting this, Jim. Just not living up to that hype. That's their preseason. All right, let's go to surprise team. Let's start with Nemi on this one.
gonna stay the course. Go with Utah. I don't think people are thinking about them to win the Big 12, and I really do think that they have a good chance to do so with changing it around this year.
Yeah, I'm also in Utah. Cam Rising's not there.
what?
Surprise to the world. I know. He's not there, and I do think that has been a distraction over the past couple seasons, and I think it's just they're going to naturally move on. And again, not saying that they're going to be a top team, but I think they're going to surprise people in how competitive they are week to week. Jim.
WU.
Thanks, Jim.
I think W, and I mean that sincerely. I'm not trying to.
I know. I'm just appreciating your support.
I think that WU will shock teams.
Right. Nate.
Kansas Jayhawks got one of the older
gotcha.
veteran quarterbacks coming back and building off a couple winning seasons. So I think they can still right the ship here. But I almost went with Alex's pick here, but I just wanted to pick somebody different.
And Alex.
I am putting a lot of stock this year into teams. You won't see many teams anymore with a bunch of returning starters. I feel like people that play, they want to move on or they go to the NFL. So I think having 13 returning people for the Baylor Bears is going to be strong, and I think that their kind of veteran leadership may get them through some tough times and see more success than expected.
All right. Good. So we got the surprise teams, we got the champs. Now we get to who we think is going to be the worst team. And is this record is intended to be record related, Jim?
Yeah.
Okay. So this would be the bottom of the barrel.
Yep.
All right. I'll start this one. I'm going to go with UCF. I'm the only one that on UCF. In fact, I'm the only one with an uncommon name in here.
And I don't think you're wrong. First of all, like that was in the running for mine.
Mhm.
So you're not like off base there.
Yeah, it's just one of those teams that it's not a saying they're the worst team is not like this huge stand that I'm making by saying it. So you guys may be getting a little bit more controversial with this, but we'll see here. Jim.
I picked Oklahoma State. I think Gundy's time is done there, and I don't think he has the buy-in of the program. I see the team tanking.
All right, Nate.
Houston. I think they're probably one of the bigger D1 programs in the state. I mean, I don't think they can even hardly recruit their state, let alone the conference.
Yeah, it's true. It's tough for them. Houston for Nate. Alex.
I'm with Jim on Oklahoma State. I think that they had a down year, and I think that I think some of the hope is lost a little bit after that, after how hard that fell was, and I think they have a really bad year this year.
Jim, you might want to put this in the keepsake that you and Alex have agreed a lot on Big 12 things.
Not yet.
We're getting close to making that something we
Let's
don't want to
get through
forget.
the Big Ten, and then we'll be okay. Let's see how he does, because I want to see if he reciprocates the love.
Well, I can't. I'm not changing my answers now.
All right,
That would
Nemi.
be silly.
I'm gonna go with Houston as well and agree with Nate. They have like 6 incoming transfers on offense. I didn't think they were very good last year. Connor Wegman, their quarterback, is from Texas A&M. Never really did much for me. Transfers on defense too. Not a fan.
All right. Next, we go to... That was everybody, right? Yeah.
Mhm.
Next, we go to most underrated big game in the Big 12 this upcoming season. Alex, take it away.
I will go with Arizona State versus Texas Tech.
Do you need to amend this?
I think I'm just gonna hold it because I don't know.
Okay.
There's gonna be so many. I was gonna go with Farmageddon, and then I was like most underrated big game. That's already a big game, kinda. So I don't know if it's underrated because it's across the pond. No, I'm just leaving it because I don't have anything better to fill it in with.
Alex is just going to stick to the guns here. Nemi.
I'm going to go with Arizona State at Utah on October 11th. If my take of Utah winning the Big 12 is going to come true, that game will have to be very important for that. So we're going to go with that.
All right. I also, this is based on my thoughts, Utah is a surprise team, Kansas State as the ultimate champion, Kansas State at Utah at the end of November. Big implications, underrated game just because, may not circle it right now, but based on where I think things are going to end up, it will have a lot to do with what the end of the season standings and Big 12 championship game look like this year. Jim.
I took WVU and Utah week 5. I think that's where you'll see a breakout game for WVU. I think if there was ever a time I think that'll be the first team they catch. I think that's where you'll see True Blue WVU come out. I think you'll see Rich Rod has some experience with Kyle Whittingham. I think you'll see whether he was a good hire for this occasion, this game, this week. And I think that's where the train takes off from the station for WVU.
Alex, will we be at that game?
Yes.
Okay.
That's
Alex and I will
September
be at that game.
27th, right?
Yeah. I forget the game we're not going to be at. TCU?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Nate.
Kansas versus Kansas State. I have Kansas as my surprising team this year, and Kansas State is my Big 12 runner-up. So this could go a long way for both teams.
All right. And the last category we have breakout player in the Big 12. Let's start with Nemi.
Similar to what everything else, we're going to go with the transfer incoming quarterback for Utah, Devin Dampier. He's a dual threat guy, rushed for 1,000 yards, threw for 2,000 at New Mexico last year. We're going to see what he can do in the Big 12. And dual threat guy in the Big 12, see if it works.
All right, I'm going to go with Dylan Edwards, Kansas State's running back. I've already alluded to this, talked about him. Breakout player, coming into his second year. He is going to be the straw that stirs the drink for Kansas State. Jim.
Bryson Washington, running back at Baylor. If I'm being completely transparent, um, Baylor running back, some hype. I was kind of like, well, I want to put Baylor on there. So I don't know. I just was putting, a dark horse on here. He's got some hype to him. Baylor's not getting a lot of love on our list here. I felt like he needed some love here.
All right. And Nate.
I've got Sam Levitt, the starting quarterback at Arizona State. If they're going to make some noise again this year in college football, it's going to go through him. They don't have Cam Scottaboo to hide behind.
Bingo. And last, certainly not least, Big 12. The man from the Big 12, the man in the Big 12, WVU superfan Alex.
Sweet. Sawyer Robertson from the Baylor Bears. He's coming back, a little experience under his belt. He has a couple experienced receivers. He has a couple transfer receivers that are going to be good. I know we're talking about him as a person, but I think having good talent around you makes you better too. So I think he could have a bigger year than expected.